Look, we know why you clicked on this video. You're tired of dying over and over in dungeons. Or you're a hardcore Destiny 2 player and you're looking for that perfect build to solo any dungeon. Regardless of which category you fall into, today's build is for anyone looking to conquer any dungeon in Destiny 2. This is yet another build straight from the BRAVExHERO community Discord. Shout out to DDKG for this build. Remember, if you're looking for fun builds, you can always join my community Discord. But with that, guys, let's get into the ultimate dungeon build. I feel like when it comes to survivability, Solar takes the cake. And for today, we're going with the Warlock Solar subclass, Well of Radiance. Rather than trying to aim for a super that deals a ton of damage, yeah, I'm looking at you, Nova Bomb. We need a super that can get us out of those sticky situations. AKA, we need a super that we can panic pop. And that's gonna be the Well of Radiance. Now, when it comes to selecting your rift, you wanna use Empowering Rift.
What? This is a survivability build. Why not use a healing rift?
Look, there's a reason to all this madness. Trust me, DD is never wrong. Now you can choose whichever melee fits your playstyle. Personally, I like Celestial Fire, since I know I can be a bit more accurate with it. Now when it comes to grenades, the flavor of the day is none other than the fusion grenades. These pocket nukes have been so good for a few seasons now, and so many players have been sleeping on them. Plus, what if I told you that they play a bigger role in the grand scheme of things, aka they're more than just pocket nukes. As for aspects, we're going with Touch of Flame, since this is going to cause our fusion grenades to explode twice. Then we want to pair this alongside the Heat Rises aspect, since every time we consume our grenade, this will release a burst of healing. Now let's put a sticky note on these two aspects. We're gonna come back to them in a bit because they tie into our exotic. Now when it comes to selecting fragments, we want to go with Ember of Tempering. Since we are going to be using a solar weapon final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration. Stacks up to 3 times. Up next we have Ember of Solace. Radiant and restoration effects applied to you have increased duration. Up next is Ember of Wonder. Rapidly defeating multiple targets with solar ignitions generates an orb of power. We're going to be seeing a lot of orbs. Lastly, Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions grants grenade energy. Look, if you haven't figured it out by now, this is a grenade heavy build, so get ready to use nothing but grenades. Now before we get into the mods and the gameplay loop, let's cover 2 must-have exotics. With every dungeon in Destiny 2 comes a lot of enemies. And when I mean a lot, I mean a ton of enemies. You get swarmed by them. Our main weapon of choice is going to be the Wither Horde. There's a reason why this weapon is #1 in PvE. Its area of effect damage. With perks such as Break the Bank and Primeval's Torment, this is one of the best guns to take care of all these little pesky ads. Not only does it leave a blight in the area where you shoot it, but every enemy you kill with the blight will blight that target and any nearby area on impact. And I would highly recommend you unlock the Wither Horde Catalyst. And to be honest guys, the Wither Horde without a catalyst is like a builder without any plans. Sure, you can get the job done, but you're not going to be efficient at all. Now for those wondering, the Wither Horde Catalyst grants increased handling and auto-loading holster. Holstering this weapon automatically reloads it after a short period of time. As for our energy weapon, the Callus Mini Tool is going to be your tool for destruction. You see what I did there? Callus Mini Tool, Tool of Destruction, never mind.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Now there's a reason why we're using the Callus Mini Tool. #1, with Incandescent, it really synergizes extremely well with our ignitions from our solar subclass build. But not only that, it synergizes even better with the fragment Ember of Tempering. Remember guys, solar weapon final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration. Shoot, we can break that down even further. Solar weapon kills grants you and your allies within 12.5 meters a +10 to recovery for 8 seconds. Now for those saying that's not a lot, think about it guys. For hunters, mobility, mobility, mobility. For titans, resilience, resilience, resilience. And for warlocks, recovery, because that's where you're gonna have your rift energy come from. Now before I get into the heavy weapon, because that's a special part of this video, trust me guys, you're gonna like it. Let's get into the exotic of choice, and we're gonna go with none other than the STARFIRE protocol. It comes with the exotic perk Fusion Harness. You gain an additional fusion grenade, plus when you're dealing empowered weapon damage, this recharges your grenade. And lastly, Fusion grenade kills will grant you rift energy. And don't worry guys, I'm going to explain how this all ties together in the gameplay loop. But for now, let's get started with our mods. So there's 2 mods right now that are in the seasonal artifact. Are they necessary to make this build work? No. Do I recommend them? Yes. If you're watching this video in Season of the Seraph, then I highly recommend you put these 2 mods on. If you're watching this video later on, like in a different season, don't worry about these mods, this build will still get the job done. Our first mod is going to be Solo Operative. If you plan on soloing any activity in Destiny 2, this is a mod you want to use. When you're soloing an activity with the mod Solo Operative, this is going to give you a 15% weapon and ability damage increase. And guys, it stacks with everything. Speaking of weapon damage, let's not forget our last mod, Weakened Clear. After damaging a boss champion or breaking a combatant shield with a grenade launcher, oh, this is why Wither Horde is so damn good. It'll reload your stowed weapons and it'll apply a weakened, increasing your damage dealt to combatants by 15%. And yes guys, that stacks with Solo Operative. Getting into our first mod that starts the whole chain reaction is Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. Now that we have an elemental well on the ground and we pick it up, we want to use 3 different mods. Number 1, Elemental Time Dilation. Elemental well mods that grant time buffs now last longer when multiple copies of that mod are equipped. For example, our next mod is Font of Might. This gives you a 25% damage increase to weapons with matching subclass element type, and it's for 11 seconds. With Elemental Time Dilation, this goes from 11 seconds to 14 seconds. Oh, and let's not forget that Font of Might's 25% damage increase also stacks with Solo Operative. Now our last mod we want to use is Well of Life. Upon picking up a Solar Elemental Well, restores 13 health points every second for 11 seconds. Yes guys, this stacks with Elemental Time Dilation, taking your 11 seconds to now 14 seconds. Now those are the major mods you need to operate this build, but here are some other mods to attach just to make this build just a little bit better. For starters, you can run 2 mods of Ashes to Assets. Gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. As for your gauntlets, I highly recommend Bolstering Detonation. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with your grenade. Also, let's pair that alongside Fastball. Increase grenade throw distance, and trust me, you're gonna need it. If you are trying to solo any activity, I recommend you run Concussive Dampener or just melee damage resistance. This all depends on what activity you're jumping into. If you're gonna do Grasp of Avarice, you may want to run this mod. If you're gonna run the new dungeon, you may want to use Concussive Dampener. But Bungie has blessed us once again with another seasonal mod, which is gonna be Resilient Retrofit. This is gonna give you +5 to your resilience. And guys, resilience matters in Destiny 2 PvE. Now I'm going to cover the gameplay loop before we get into how you can deal massive amounts of damage. Jumping into any activity, especially if you're running solo and you're taking a lot of damage, this is where you want to consume one of your grenades. And this is going to activate Heat Rises. And remember, when you consume a grenade, it'll release a burst of healing. And since we are using the STARFIRE protocol, maybe you need to consume a second grenade just to go find cover. Now I know what you're thinking.
Brave, I don't have the cooldown to charge up 2 grenades.
Hey, take it easy, my friend. Let me explain. When you're standing in an Empowering Rift, remember guys, we went with Empowering Rift. When you deal weapon damage, you will charge up your grenades. Guys, you could literally have 0 discipline and you'll have a super fast cooldown. Just take a look at that. Look at that, guys. Look how fast it charges. Shoot, people don't even realize that your Well of Radiance will also charge your grenade just by dealing weapon damage. But okay, I know what you're thinking.
Okay, Brave, but this all falls back on recovery. Remember, my rift?
This is what makes STARFIRE Protocol such a great PvE exotic. Guys, when you get a fusion grenade kill, this will give you a fully charged rift. And since you did get a grenade kill, this will drop a Solar Elemental Well, thus activating Font of Might and Well of Life. One giving you bonus damage and the other giving you healing. On top of that, they're both extended because of Elemental Time Dilation. And shoot, if you get a double kill with that fusion grenade, remember, they explode twice. You'll activate Ember of Wonder, dropping you an orb, and you'll activate Ember of Blistering, which is gonna give you grenade energy. Whew, but we're not done yet, guys. When we get that grenade kill, we're gonna activate Ash's assets, giving us more super energy. I would highly recommend when you do have a full super, don't activate it until you're in that oh crap moment. AKA, I need to panic pop my well of radiance just to stay alive. This is especially for those of you out there trying to solo any dungeon. And the circle of life continues just like that. Taking some damage, you need to stay alive, just consume a grenade. Don't have any, just pop your empowering rift, deal some damage, and consume your grenade after that. But we're not done yet. Guys, this is where we get into the massive amounts of damage. Do me a favor, if you haven't joined the community Discord, jump in there and message DDKG and say, dude, you need to go touch grass, but you're freaking awesome. Now his main weapon of choice is the Cataclysmic, and he got it with the perk Bait and Switch. After dealing damage with all your weapons, you now get a 35% damage increase to the weapon with Bait and Switch. Look, I'm just gonna show you exactly how he does it. He fires the Wither Horde, he does a little bit of damage with his SMG, and then he switches over to the Cataclysmic. And there you go, guys, the ultimate dungeon build. Didn't I tell you this build was gonna be crazy? And yes, guys, it deals a ton of damage. Thank you so much for stopping by. Go out there, get your sweet looking emblems, go solo some dungeons, and like always, guys, don't forget to subscribe for more Destiny 2 videos. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.